Bengaluru, city of Karnataka. This is yet another story that we bring to you. The Bengaluru pothole menace continues, a story of civic apathy at the very center of matters. Let's take you through the details of the very recent developments that's taken place. India's IT capital, Bengaluru's broken roads and crumbling infrastructure are not just an inconvenience issue, but also a rather serious barrier to the quality of life, health and productivity. Year after year, killer potholes keep reappearing, particularly in the monsoon season, leading to loss of life, serious injuries to commuters as well. Gravity of the issue can be understood from the very fact that over 15,000 pothole complaints were lodged by Bangaloreans between April 1st and December 2nd of 2024. So what's surprising is the fact that almost 5,000 of these complaints were rejected outright by the civic body. First, look at the data that we have to show you, which in fact raises some more concerns. The BBMP reported that between April and December 19 this year, Bengaluru had 16,940 potholes, and of them, only 9,442 have been fixed. 5,212 such pothole complaints were rejected as they were repeated, and now the Palake is tasked with completing 1,974 potholes, and the work on 615 such potholes or bad stretches has already begun. The Bruhat Bengaluru Mahanagara Palake had launched a mobile app, Raste Gundi Gamana, to report potholes across the city. But what the BBMP claims and the ground reality are completely the opposite at this point. The BBMP has claimed that they spend approximately rupees 45 crores annually to fix potholes across the 8 zones covering 32,200 square meters of the roads. Earlier, BBMP Chief Commissioner Tushar Girinath had said that rupees 15 lakh is given per ward to fix the potholes and repair the roads. But what surprises is that if the BBMP has spent such a huge amount in repairing the potholes, why are the Bangaloreans still complaining of bad roads on a daily basis? So much so that Chief Minister Siddaramaiah had to even tour the city in September. And take a look at these data, ladies and gentlemen. October 21st, 2024, 56-year-old woman dies after her scooter is hit by a mini truck as it slowed to avoid potholes. October 14, 2024, commuter severely injured after falling from his two-wheeler which came in contact with a pothole. October 31st, 2022, bike rider killed after a car hit his bike while negotiating a pothole. October 18, 2022, woman died after meeting with an accident while trying to avoid a pothole. September 7, 2021, differently abled man died after his modified two-wheeler ran over a pothole, lost balance and overturned. This is the pothole menace we are talking about, ladies and gentlemen. A situation that has time and again shown its head in the Silicon hub, the Silicon capital of this country. And this is the current condition. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we have Mohammad Wajiullah joining us on the broadcast to bring us more details. Waji, a very good afternoon to you. And you know, this is not the first time we are having this conversation as far as the BBMP is concerned. What is extremely, questionable at this point is that be it whichever government, be it the BJP's regime, be it the Congress's regime, there is no situation that we see, no solution rather to the situation through this menace that we see. It occurs year after year in Bengaluru, and it is a Silicon capital. That is the kind of city we are speaking of. Where is the negligence at this given point? Why can the BBMP not solve an issue of this sort which has been on and on and on for years at this point?
Asha, you're completely right. Potholes is one of the only menace that continues to create a problem every day, every month, every year for the last so many years. I've been reporting on it for the last 10 years. I think one of the first few reports that I ever did as a journalist was on potholes. And 12 years down the line, we're still working and talking on potholes. And the reason why one understands that the BBMP is not able to solve this issue is because of the multi agencies that are present in Karnataka. Now, this data that is available here with us, out of the 16,000 potholes that the government had claimed exist in the city, we had also seen DK Shivkumar speak about it. Now, according to this app that the BBMP has made, which is the Raste Gundi Gamana app, in that the data clearly shows that out of that 9,442 potholes have been cleared. Out of them, 5,000 potholes are those which have had repeated complaints again and again, and they've rejected it because there is no work that has to be done over there, and it has been done. But if you otherwise also go across the city, you will find so many potholes, so many bad roads in and around the city, which clearly gives you an indication that there are close to 15,000 potholes in the city. The other problem that one faces with regards to the persistent issue of potholes is that if the BBMP covers up the pothole in one particular area, you would see that another agency like the BWSSB or the BESCOM or the BEML, these people will then come up to lay a pipe or a road or some wires, and then they would dig up the roads around. Now, just a few meters from this place, also a road was made a few days back, but the government opened it up. One of the agencies of the government opened it up because they had to lay down pipes, and that road is still in a bad condition since then. So so what government right now needs is accountability in BBMP, and elections have to be done in BBMP so that a body is being set up to be held accountable. These apps can keep an idea of the record, but what we need right now is accountability on those 9,000 potholes that have been claimed to have actually been cleared, whether they've been cleared or not. A detailed report on that, because potholes is something that crops up every 3-4 months, because the shoddy road contracts that have been given to people who do shoddy road laying work. So this is something that continues to create a problem in Bengaluru. It's a new day every day, but the same old problem.
Absolutely, Vaji. At this given point, as we were just telling our viewers, that even the Chief Minister has taken a tour of different parts in Bengaluru to understand the situation. But it's quite ironic, a government which consistently speaks of guarantees that they are coming up with to help the people out there in the particular city, and they talk about constant measures they are taking to, look into civic issues. But this issue is quite a core issue that's been there at the center of civic apathy, if we were to highlight, in Bengaluru. And no government, even this particular government, hasn't been able to come up with a solution to this. What is the government say into all of this into this entire matter? What do they have to say?
Varsha, it will be wrong to say that the governments have not been involved, because yes, the governments have been involved throughout, be it the previous government or the present government. We've seen after the rains how DK Kumar went across, did a city round to check on the potholes that have been done. Then after the time he had given a deadline that there are so many potholes, why work has not been done, and I will do deadline. I will do a surprise check after 1 month. He did that also. It's not that the government is not keeping an eye, but the government is keeping an eye. What is actually not happening is that those contractors who have been given these work, they are doing a shoddy work. If a road wears off within 3 to 4 months after paying crores of rupees to the contractor, then it clearly gives you an indication that there is something wrong in the material that have been used, or the contractors who have used or built these roads have done shoddy work of their department. And that is one thing that the government has to hold. And that is why what is important is an accountability body that has been held within the BBMP, which looks into each and every road, which looks into the material that has been wrote. A standard set of materials have to be placed, and a regular check has to be done whether it's the same amount of materials that have been used. And if the road is wearing off, a scientific study should be done on those lines on why it's wearing off and why it's becoming a pertinent issue. Because Bengaluru is again on top of a hill. It is an hilly region which has become into a massive metropolitan city now, and it rains a lot in this city, and there is a potential of roads getting damaged. So bodies should be held accountable to check all of these things. You cannot have one BBMP laying down the roads and then another department coming and saying, no, we have to lay down our pipe, and that is why we are digging up the entire road. And then again, we'll have to wait for another contract to be given to another contractor to lay down the same road again. And then when he does that, you have another agency coming up and saying, no, today we have to lay down pipes. So there has to be coordination done between these agencies that will make sure that the problems are solved. Now, in most of the cases, you will also know that the BBMP must have covered the road, but it has been opened, but it will be registered as that road has been covered by the BBMP. And when it gets repeated complaints, it gets rejected and it falls under the rejected category. So, like this, if you see, you have so many potholes in and around the city. How much of this are actually in the accounted 16,442 that the BBMP claims? How much are beyond it is something that we see on a daily basis. So, this problem needs a
Right.
proper overhaul of the BBMP to make sure that it is
Definitely. I
rectified.
mean, when we speak of the government and what they have done, there needs to be stringent accountability, as you have very rightly mentioned. There needs to be stringent regulations put into place and a strict check, constant checks to be taken place, and also a need for accountability at this given point.